and welcome to another video from the Geek Gossip Podcast. I'm Jack Higgins.
And I'm Artie Higgins, and this is a podcast where we talk about movies, comics, and all things geek.
Yeah, like always, we're super pumped to be talking up to you about all the news within the geek world, because today we have a super awesome new movie review we're so pumped to deliver.
Yeah, and if it's any kind of movie that we love reviewing on the podcast most, it is comic book movies. Marvel, DC, Ninja Turtles, whatever it may be, we love reviewing it. And this week, it just happens to be Blue Beetle.
Yeah, this is kind of a deep cut character, so it's awesome to see him finally receiving his own solo movie.
Yeah, definitely.
For sure. And being in any kind of movie is just a special experience for Beetle fans all around the world. And no, I'm not referring
total
to the
BEETLE-MANIA.
Yeah, I'm not referring to the, 60s pop sensation.
The biggest rock band of all time.
I'm referring to the most underrated character in the DC universe. 3 of the most underrated characters in the DC universe. There's 3 Blue Beetles. The third and newest Blue Beetle, Jaimie Reyes, is finally in live action. It's been a long wait, but it's finally here, and I am so excited about this.
Yeah.
So this is directed by Angel Manuel Soto. It stars Xolo Maruduena, Bruna McKenzie, George Lopez, Elsa Escobedo, Raul Trujillo, and Susan Sarandon. So, I really enjoyed this movie, but how's it doing with critics and at the box office?
Okay, so first on Rotten Tomatoes, it's got a 76% critic score, which is more than I expected, and a great 92% fans. The critics' consensus from Rotten Tomatoes is led by Xolo Maruduena's magnetic performance in the title role. Blue Beetle is a refreshingly family-focused superhero movie with plenty of humor and heart. There's nothing negative in there, which is great.
I totally agree with it for once, which is like a first time for Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's a great general thought of the movie. Well, the Ninja Turtles one was great too.
Right, but I definitely agree. It's just a fun, straightforward palate cleanser, and it's fun for the whole family.
Yeah.
So how's this doing box office?
According to Variety, Blue Beetle opened at #1 at the domestic box office, which is great, but it was only with 25.4 million. So I guess a lot of people just aren't going in the movies this weekend.
A lot of movies aren't showing it. Or a lot of theaters aren't showing it. Less than 4,000, which is...
Yeah, that's not amazing for an opening.
Yeah.
It's actually worse than Suicide Squad. James Gunn's Suicide Squad.
And that came out 2021 while it was on HBO Max.
Yeah. That it just did a little bit better, but still, that is a bummer because this isn't even on streaming as well. But although it did beat Barbie's 4-week streak at #1.
Okay. Well, it's 4 weeks in, and it already made $1 billion, so I don't think that really matters much. But yeah, so I don't know. It's kind of a bummer because, DC's released some bad movies lately, but Blue Beetle's certainly not one of them. It's kind of like the wrong film is getting punished here. And
well, that's what you said for the Flash review too.
Yeah, but the really wrong film is getting punished here. It's better than Flash. You know? So it's like worth going to see. I wish it had opened really successfully because I would like to see this become a franchise.
Yeah, and I think Blue Beetle is just a fun, fast-paced movie for a character that has deserved his appearance on the big screen for quite a while now. Completely detached from the mess that is the DCEU and more likely in James Gunn and Peter Safran's fresh new universe, this was another excellent superhero origin movie. Xolo Maruduena is such a great actor, and it's just really awesome to finally see him in something good, unlike the past few seasons of Cobra Kai.
Yeah, I mean, the first 3 were good, but then past that, it just got so, cheesy and just, melodramatic and all this oh, so you're going out with her now? OMG, just all this
and then the drama between
drama.
The old guys with their karate dojos.
It was just too much.
Yeah,
but he's a good actor.
Blue Beetle is completely otherwise, and it's great
to see what he can do with an amazing script.
Yeah,
really.
It's great to see him being this character. And I really liked the movie. This movie has such good heart and great humor, and really cool action and special effects too. It focuses, it kind of dips into the legacy of the Blue Beetle a lot. So if you're someone who's a fan of all the past iterations of the character, like Ted Kord and all them, then you're going to be really psyched and have your minds blown like we did when we watched this movie. But even if you're not a total Blue Beetle nerd, I still totally recommend it because it had a great general appeal to it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, I mean, most DC movies, like compared to Marvel, they're incredibly dark and most often like stupid, brutal, and juvenile. Like Black Adam was. Like, seriously, like you could get a 10-year-old playing with his action figures and it would have a better story than that.
Yeah.
But Blue Beetle, that's not the case. No 10-year-old could write this movie because this is just a fun, simple, straightforward origin story, with good themes about the importance of family and stuff. And I can't believe it was originally intended to be a streaming movie because it's so good. It seems like a no-brainer to release it to theaters. Even though it's not doing that well, it seems like a blockbuster. So Xolo Maruduena, Miguel Diaz himself, gives a great performance as Jaimie Reyes. Like, I love that character from the Brave and the Bold cartoon. And there's no one I'd rather have playing him than Xolo. It's the role he was born to play.
Yeah,
and he looks exactly like Jaimie from the comics and all the cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, just without the weird beard.
Yeah, right. But well, he might get the beard in future installments. We'll see.
I hope not.
But beard or not, he pulls it off. And if you compare him to like Ezra Miller in the Flash movie or Zachary Levi in Shazam 2, it's like day and night comparing like the actors.
Oh yeah, like here's Xolo, here's Ezra.
Yeah, he's just
he was way better.
So much more charismatic, so much deeper, so much more likable.
Less whiny.
Yeah, you're not like remotely annoyed by his character.
Yeah.
At all, which you can't say about Shazam or Flash. So it's like, and I love the first Shazam. Second one, it's kind of like, oh, come on, he's that dumb. And it's like, so it's like kind of obnoxious after a while. Like, geez, like no wonder kids aren't good superheroes. It's like, I don't want to see a movie about that. Just give them some plot armor. Okay. But Blue Beetle, it pulled it off. It was believable. He was likable and he was just great in that role, I felt. And then the supporting cast was awesome too. I thought the Nana was really hilarious. Like, if you're skeptical about going to see it, there's a really funny grandmother who makes the whole movie worth watching.
There's a plot twist there too. Don't want to spoil it, but definitely check that out.
George Lopez's character, Uncle Rudy, he had some great lines. Yeah. For sure. He's sort of like the anti-government mechanic uncle, and he's just a really great character that I think is really kind of realistic and just understandably likable. I feel like you get why he's like the cool uncle with the family and stuff, and he just has some great scenes for sure.
Yeah, and also don't worry about having to watch any DC movies or DCEU movies.
It stands alone.
Yeah, it's a completely like detached standalone adventure that's just a lot of fun.
It could fit into the Snyderverse as easily it could fit into the new James Gunn universe, because it's just so detached from everything. Like, there's no cameos, like nobody big shows up, there's no multiverse or anything. It's just a good movie for sure. I really enjoyed it. And then the legacy of Ted Kord, great part of the story. They adapted so much out of the Steve Ditko comics. Like, the bug ship was so awesome. That was visually
great. All the gadgets and stuff. Yeah.
So like if you're a fan of Ted Kord, like, you will not be disappointed by this movie for sure.
Yeah, we were just freaking out in the theater.
Right. And so visual wise, like the Blue Beetle suit, great blend of practical effects and CGI.
Yeah,
like,
definitely.
It's hard to pull that off and make it look good, but like they did it so well here. And I like how it's not entirely CGI. There's some practical stuff there, like a good practical anchor, which
and
you can't even say about the MCU Iron Spider suit,
Yeah, and our dad said it kind of reminded him of like an 80s blockbuster movie too. And like, just look at the logo.
Right.
And the awesome thing too is that's the color theme of the whole movie, like the blue and metallic the neon and purple. It's all so cool.
I know. It's just like there's a real like cool color scheme with the movie.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like Batman kind of did that, like with red and stuff, but Blue Beetle like is just as good in terms of like color, cinematography, and all that.
Yeah, definitely.
And the powers and fight scenes came together great. I mean, the Jaimie's first transformation sequence into Blue Beetle managed to be so creative and visually appealing, which is hard to do in 2023 when we've had so many superhero transformation sequences. And everything about this movie had such a comic accurate look to it.
Oh yeah, because like you mentioned, the costume earlier was just like the comics.
Yeah, like the Cully Hamner design perfectly adapted to the big screen. Same deal goes for the, the Ted Kord and Dan Garrett costumes you can see in the background in the trailer.
Yep.
Both of those looked phenomenal, though we didn't see them in action, but they both looked straight out of the comic. So it's like, outside of the James Gunn stuff, of course, this is like one of the first times like DC movies are like, oh, they gave us a really good, they gave us a really good character design in the comics. Let's just use that instead of making everything a really boring palette of beiges and browns and terrible CGI, so it just came together really well, I felt, and it was just a real love letter to the source material, if that makes sense.
Yeah, and another really cool thing too is it was a one superhero, one super villain movie.
Right. Like Phase 1 Marvel was like that, it's like a Raimi Spider-Man movie, pretty much. It's just it's not like huge in terms of like the whole world's gonna end, really. It's like he's just got to stop this bad guy.
That's what Shazam 2 was, and it got a little annoying.
Right,
it's kind of cliche.
Right. When the first Shazam was something different, but Shazam 2 just blew it up. And then Flash, like, come on. It's like the multiverse is all destroyed. General Zod's there. And it's like, I think you can't get more like cliche superhero movie than that.
Yeah, and I mean, I like this a lot more than Flash, but we also gave a great review on Flash. Definitely check that out. It's up on the channel, the YouTube channel. That was our first video. Think Blue Beetle in general was just a way better movie. And this movie was also just kind of like the perfect like segue into the new James Gunn universe. Like I think it's probably just going to tie in perfectly with Superman Legacy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, James Gunn said he has plans for this character going forward, and I kind of want to break that down a little more, but warning here, we're going to spoil the post-credit scene of this movie. I don't know if it's like a huge spoiler if you're not like...
Yeah, not a big fan of the comic.
So anyway, in the post-credit scene, all right, here's your warning. It's revealed that Ted Kord, the previous Blue Beetle, is still alive. And it's unclear who he's played by.
Well, through the whole movie, they talk about how he's gone missing.
Right. And it's like if he's missing and not confirmed dead, then well, like, you know what that means. And so it's unclear who he's played by. We just hear his voice through a computer. But to me, it sounds like Jason Sudeikis. And there's like a painting of Ted Kord that we see that people said looks kind of like him before. So I think that'd be really cool casting.
I really hope it's Jason Sudeikis. I think he would be. I mean, he looks like Ted Kord. He's got like, I don't know. I think he would be perfect. He's the right age. I would love that.
Right. And it's like, I don't know. And, everybody knows him as Ted Lasso, but I know him as Red from the Angry Birds movie. That's my favorite movie ever. And so I'd love to see him as a superhero for sure.
Yeah.
I just love that character from the comics. And I think if Blue Beetle 2 doesn't happen, which it likely won't considering, box office, but Jaimie Reyes could pop up in the Booster Gold series is what I'm thinking. Like that would make sense.
That'd be really cool. I kind of hope that in this new James Gunn universe, they have both Ted Kord and Jaimie Reyes in there, because I thought they could even do like a Batman Beyond type thing with them.
That would be cool. If he's like his guy in the chair.
Yeah, because they have that whole Beetle lair. So Ted Kord could be back there doing the guy in the chair stuff. And then, I
even want them to just,
fighting.
They could even just both be crime fighting together.
That would be awesome too.
Because one has the scarab, but one's got the cool gadgets and is a really skilled fighter.
Yeah,
so
we need to see Ted Kord in action with all that, with that awesome suit, all the awesome gadgets. Hey, even like in the opening credits, there was that old like photograph of him hanging from the bug. That was so awesome.
Right. Yeah. And so because of their history in the comics, I think the Booster Gold series could make it so like, Ted Kord knew Booster Gold like way back in the day.
Traveler.
Yeah. Booster Gold's a time traveler, so he can be any age at any time. And so he could have known like, Blue Beetle Ted Kord like way back in the day when he was still a superhero.
Well, yeah, because they're best friends in the comics.
Right. And so like maybe like once Ted Kord's like gone missing or whatever, it could be like Booster Gold's trying to find his friend. And then when he finds out like this kid has the scarab, he's like, yo, we can team up. We're going to go find Ted Cord together.
Yeah, that would be actually cool.
That's what I first.
Yeah, maybe they'll use the title Blue and Gold from the recent comic series.
Oh,
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah, I'd love that. And then, and then once Ted's back, then we could just see a whole adventure that's just Ted and Booster without Jaimie. Like, I think that could be cool.
Yeah, or maybe them in the 80s would be cool.
Right. That would be awesome as well. In conclusion, Blue Beetle is an awesome movie. Xolo Maruduena, excellent as Jaimie Reyes, one of the best superhero performances of the year. And I honestly can't wait to see what the future holds for this character. Definitely go see it if you haven't bought tickets already. Bring your whole family too, because it's a total blast.
Everyone will enjoy it. I think, bring any of your friends. Really, I think everyone should see this movie. Well, I think everyone should see Mutant Mayhem. But if you've already seen Mutant Mayhem and don't have anything else to do, then this movie, definitely.
If you can't catch it in theaters, catch it on HBO Max.
Yeah, HBO does that thing where, like, very soon after the movie comes out, they have it on there for a little bit, and then it goes off so they can promote the DVD, and then it's back on there forever.
But yeah, Blue Beetle, fantastic movie. Could not recommend it enough. Scale 1 to 10, what's your ranking?
Honestly, I'm going to go 8 or 9 on here.
Yeah, I'm going 8. 8, borderline 8.5. It's that good. I mean, it's not like, The Dark Knight or anything, but neither does it need to be. So I'm just saying, like, 8 out of 10 is like sweet spot for Blue Beetle for sure. So definitely a stellar movie. Be sure to check it out for sure. And be sure to check it out for sure.
And be sure for sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications.
Yeah, smash that like button, channel. Smash that subscribe. Leave a comment.
Hulk.
Yeah, Hulk smash.
Yeah, we want as much support as possible on the Geek Gossip YouTube channel. But if you're listening on the audio stuff, that's great. But we would love it even more for you to go and support the channel, because we've got exclusive videos on there, our solo videos and all that, and videos that haven't made it on the audio stuff because in the in-between area. But definitely please support the channel. And then also you can follow us on Instagram, the Geek Gossip _podcast, Twitter /X, the Geek Gossip P1, and Facebook, the Geek Gossip Podcast.
Yeah. And our website, thegeekgossip.com, always up. If you want to shoot us an email, just fill out our contact form and we'll reply to it straight away.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for listening. And we'll be back soon.
Till next time, remember that the Force will be with you always.